99% of players just resign with white. There is no possible checks. You cannot stop one of these two pawns to queen on the next move. And if you think you have time to queen, well, you get checkmated in 3 moves. Try to find it. I hope you found that you can simply promote to a queen with check. G3 is the only square for the king. Check and checkmate. So let's say you saw all this and shake hands, right? Nope. White is winning. And the last move white plays is just too beautiful. And a little spoiler for you. All these pawns are going to become a queen soon. You'll have 3 queens on the board. The first move is the hardest to find because it literally attacks nothing. Bishop f3. You let black getting the first queen, which is super annoying for us. Because this queen controls the square of promotion. But you know what? Ignore it. And promote to a queen as well. Because if the queen captures, we check, creating a discovery attack on the queen as well. The king moves, and this endgame is totally winning for white. Instead, black gets another queen. And now, I want you to force simplifications. Bishop takes queen, queen takes queen, rook check, attacking the queen. But careful, you cannot take this queen, or stalemate. I'll let you try to find a winning move for white. This is what happens to a pro when he thinks about this. He thinks if this bishop was on any of these squares, bringing the rook on h1 would lead to checkmate. So I need to remove my bishop. But if I put it on these squares, then the queen can start checking me. And by process of elimination, the GM understands that the only good square for this bishop is e4. But it's not over yet. Black has a crazy move sacrificing the queen. If you take it, stalemate. So how do you win? Literally, on the next move. Use the same elimination concept. If the queen remains on this rank, I cannot checkmate. So I need to play a move that guarantees that this queen is not on the first rank next. And the only move is to block the access to all these squares with rook b1. The queen would love to transform herself into a knight and jump over pieces, but it's not allowed in chess. So she leaves. And you guessed it, checkmate! You won't believe the way this game ends. I know you're thinking the first move for white is too easy. You most likely saw that after queen f6, you have a checkmate in 2 moves. But your friend finds the only move, rook g6, controlling all these squares. And my friend, there is no more checkmate. So what do you do now? Do you still think it's easy? The killer move is a queen sacrifice. And when your friend captures the queen, take back with the d pawn. And look at this mess. Yes, the king is fighting by himself against a rook and a bishop. Did you change your mind? Do you think it's easy win for black now? If you do, you know what's coming. I trapped you. White only has a king and few pawns, but look at the black pieces. They're totally stuck. Honestly, you're a genius if you see what's coming. Let me show you. Use the king wandering technique. Or just go for a walk. He tries to go to queen, bring the king back. He pushes, keep getting closer to the enemy king. When he thinks he's so close to getting this queen, ignore it. Go to b4. Now it gets very scary for us. I know, but this king knows what he's doing. And when your friend looks at you, takes the queen, puts it on the board, all proud of himself, you smash him with the pawn check. He's forced to take. And now, checkmate with the pawn. Have you ever tried to sacrifice your rook 10 times in a row? Your friend with the black pieces is attacking both bishops, and taking one of them would lead to a queen promotion. So how do we win with white? I know what you're thinking. You saw that checking with the rook forces black to lose the queen. Then you check with the bishop, and when the king moves, the bishop takes the pawn. And I agree, this would be winning for white. But wait, who said that this king is taking the rook back? You know who?
Absolutely nobody!
I move my king out of the way. And now, how do you stop one of these 2 moves to happen? Easy. The whole idea of this exercise is to improve your imagination skills. We know that if one bishop escapes while checking the king, then you can save the second bishop. So the king goes to f8. I can already see your comments telling me why f8, that's dumb, just stay on this corner. No. Check. King moves, check. And the king is forced to go on this diagonal, so this bishop can check. So let's go back to king f8. I'm sure you know what's coming. If you think I meant one rook sacrifice, you're wrong. Because we're about to sacrifice the rook 9 more times in a row. Let's go. Rook takes pawn. King moves. Check, 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 check. King c8. Check. Now check here, forcing him to go to the a7 square. And now the last rook sacrifice. And the king is now forced to go on a square where one of these bishops will check him. So he takes the rook. And all you have to do is grab this pawn. Then this one, an easy win. If you think the queen is the most powerful piece in chess, watch this. Careful. Your friend has a queen ready to fork the king and the rook on the next move, but it's white to play, and you won't believe how this game ends. Start with a check. The king is forced to go to g7, and now what? If you check, your friend pushes the pawn and his king is safe. So how can you win with white? The trick is to start screening all possible checks. You'll quickly find that it's also possible to check with this pawn. Alright, chesscape, that's dumb. His king escapes to f6, and if you check again, he attacks my rook, and I'm gonna lose this game. Are you sure that you found all possible checks? Are you? I never told you to find the safest checks. I said all possible checks. And the killer move here is, you guessed it, a rook sacrifice. The rook is forking the couple, so your friend is now forced to take it. Now check with the bishop. The king has only one square. Check again. Oh, we're repeating moves so we can draw the game. No. Check, sacrifice the pawn, and when the queen takes, how do you checkmate on the next move? Don't believe everything you read in chess books. In this position, this book shows an amazing variation starting with, you guessed it, a rook sacrifice. Your friend will take this rook faster than light speed. And now the book says to move the king here. Your friend sees a check, so he does it, like most beginners. And after the king goes to g1, this is where things get interesting. White threatens to push the pawn and checkmate on the next move. And now the author in this book thinks the only move is to block the pawn with the bishop, because if you take it, the queen has no better move than grabbing this pawn. And now, have you ever seen a queen promotion being a queen sacrifice? Well, now you have. Queen takes queen, of course. White pushes with check. The only move is to cover with the queen, checking this king. But after king moves, it's game over. If the queen takes the bishop, checkmate. If your friend pushes the pawn, you queen. Don't forget this queen is pinned. King moves, checkmate. But wait, it's all very cute moves. But I told you this book was wrong. In this position, yes, white threatens checkmate, pushing this one. Who said the only move is to block this pawn? There is a winning move for black here. Try to find it. You are scared about this bishop checkmating us, so the best move is to attack this bishop with the queen. He pushes the pawn, take the bishop check. King moves, and now push this pawn. Let him queen. It's fine, because now you get a second queen. And if your friend tries to get another princess, we have a bad news for him. Checkmate in 2 moves. Queen check, king goes to g2, and now, how do you checkmate on the next move? Can you believe white is winning here? With just 1 rook fighting against 2 knights, 1 bishop, and this pawn ready to queen for black. Get ready, focus, cause everything is forced. Start by pushing this pawn. If your friend queens, checkmate in 3 moves. You queen, king goes up, queen check, queen checkmate. So when we pushed our pawn, black is forced to capture it. With the bishop, your friend will think he simply won the game, thinking if the rook takes the bishop, I queen and win. Not so fast. Life is way more complex than this, my friend. Don't take the bishop, white started thinking. The only way to save this game is if I find a possible checkmate threats with the amazing move rook g4, attacking the knight and threatening to checkmate black on this square. And if black thinks he's smarter than us and plays bishop b3 to avoid checkmate here, we keep fighting, of course. He closes one door, we open another one with the move rook g1, again threatening checkmate. The only move is to move the knight. But what do you do now? The same thing again. We play rook g5, threatening checkmate here this time. You see what we're doing? Black doesn't have time to promote to a queen and reorganize his pieces. We attack, threaten checkmate, he reacts passively. Black pushes his pawn again, stopping our checkmate threats for the third time. But what if I tell you that your next move with white also threatens checkmate? Try to find it. King here, of course, threatening checkmate. That's 5 checkmate threats in a row, but he's not done yet. He thinks pushing this pawn saves him because the bishop controls this square, but he's wrong. The next move white plays forces checkmate on the next move. Another king move. What? Yes, my friend, this time nobody can stop rook checkmate on the next move, and white wins.